Well, blessed Friday to you as we come with your daily encouragement. Now, we introduced what is kind of new to the book, the nations of Gog and Magog. They're from the other scriptures of Ezekiel 38 and 39. And either this is a separate battle or it is a battle that is describing what has preceded it. And the passage is nice and vague, so you could argue both. If you argue that this is a new battle, you'll notice that it is only the devil that rises up in this situation. But if you look at the passages we're going to have, the false prophet and the beast are mentioned, but they are not mentioned as rising up with the devil. So one could say that this is a separate battle. On the other hand, you would say that the devil is at the source of all battles that are going on, and specifically in the book of Revelation. And even if the beast and the false prophet are mentioned, they're just mentioned to remind us that, well, they are powerful. The real source of the evil in this world is specifically the devil. So those are kind of the tensions about whether this is a new battle or a description of the last and final battle that is described. Now there are other parts of it. This will take place in Jerusalem. It is obvious that it is taking place either in Armageddon or the valley of Megiddo, or is it also taking place at the mountain, Zion in Jerusalem? So there are a lot of tensions going on. So with that in the background, let's read what we have here in verse 9 and 10. We're going to continue through those two verses today. They, that is, the forces of Gog and Magog, influenced by the devil, they marched up over the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints. Now, some argue that the saints here are only referring to the people of Israel, and that's those who want to have a literal 1,000 years of only Israel being at peace in Jerusalem before the final battle. But it says saints, and the definition of saints throughout the book of Revelation has been a mix of both Jew and Gentile. It has been a mix of people of the either 144,000, which is really a symbolic number, or a great multitude. So I don't think you can necessarily just assign it to one particular people. It is all the people of God that have been brought from all the nations of the world. And says, so they marched up. And even though when you go to Israel, you would be at a higher level at the northern time and you would march down to Israel. But marching up to the capital is the important symbolism going there. They're going to Mount Zion, they're going to the great mountain. And they went to the beloved city. So this is not the whore of Babylon, this is not Rome, this is the beloved city. So this is Jerusalem. And fire came down from heaven. And other authorities read that from God out of heaven, or out of heaven from God, fire came down, judgment came down, purification came down from heaven, and consumed them. The devil who had deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and the prophet were, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. Now, there again, depending on your interpretation, the only one that was set free from the lake of fire that was prior to this was the devil, but one could say that it is just being much more sparse in its description. So, however you want to interpret that part, I would say is the big contention. Is this a separate battle from the final battle, or is this another description of that battle since they mention the false prophet and the beast? Now remember, the false prophet is the Antichrist, the one who comes in Jesus' name, but is not the representative of God. The beast represents all the powers and authority that are against the power of God. So all of these together, both secular rule and religious rule, along with the devil, the chief motivator of all these nations, are all coming towards Jerusalem. But God has thrown down fire from above and has thrown the devil, the chief source of it, into the lake of fire. And that's why, the other people will be judged, but the devil has already been judged. And so, for whatever reason, and that's the question of why evil exists while there is good in this world, we have to ask that question of why the devil is around, even when God can take care of the devil very handily. And that is part of the mystery of faith, is that we don't always know the whys of evil. And I had a professor who always described that that's the left hand of God. We don't always know what's going on with the left hand of God, but in the right hand of God, righteousness prevails. Jesus rose to the right hand of God, and this is where God is taking care of business that needs to happen in this world, where God has revealed that through Jesus Christ, God is drawing the world to himself. God bless you today. We trust that these continue to be words of encouragement. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time.